America doesn't just happen. We make it happen because we are America.
I do not know you, but I am your brother.
You do not know me, but I am your protector.
I will run into a burning building to save your life.
Though I do not know your name, I will take a bullet for you.
Though we've never met,
I believe in duty
and sacrifice of self.
Your family is my family.
Is my family. Your life is my duty.
What's going on, guys? A very special on-the-road episode of Behind the Uniforms. I'm here with Graham Allen and Graham's soon-to-be studio.
Soon-to-be studio. It's getting there. So
down here in South Carolina. For those of you who have never seen this show before, here's how this works. Behind the Uniforms is all about sharing the stories of the men and women who wore uniforms, active, retired, police, first responders, veterans, doesn't matter, they wear a uniform. We want to show the men and women behind those uniforms. So here, my buddy Graham. Graham, tell them all, give some context. Who are you, background?
my name is Graham Allen. Most people know me as the Daily Rants guy on Facebook. That's what I do now, but I don't know. I guess most
Small
people,
audience.
Small audience. I guess most people know, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't know that I was in the Army for 12 years. So so that's kind of my uniform. I was in the Army for 12 years.
You know, if I were single, we should have been buddies because you would have been the best wingman ever. Everywhere I go, when people are like, "Oh my God, you know Graham Allen?" I'm like, "Yeah, Graham's a great guy." Like, he's so sexy.
It doesn't do me any good. I'm married and stuff, so all my friends benefit from it really well. So
I think we'd be wingman for Devon later, huh?
there we go. Yay, you never know.
So, Graham, where do you want to start? You want to tell me about a good day or a bad day first?
Oh my goodness, let's see. A good day, so like a good day in uniform? Is that what we mean?
Yeah.
Oh goodness, what is a good day? Well, I think most men and women that have been overseas will say that a good day is nope, I'm not going to say the stereotypical good days when you come back. I'll tell you a good day. All right, so a good day for us, it was my first deployment to Iraq, and it was 2006. And it was during the holiday time, which is a rough time for people overseas, because you can't talk to your family. And back then, the communications weren't what they are now, right? So you couldn't just get on the computers and talk to home, like we have the benefit of talking to our men and women overseas now. And so during the holidays, it was just that. You were kind of stuck. And so we had this mission where we were going to go from our fob to an Air Force fob called Anaconda, right? And we were so excited because that was like the good fob to go to, right? The Air Force had all like the good stuff. They had like the like the Taco Bell transport things and all this other kind of stuff. And so I'll never forget it, man. It was Thanksgiving Day. And we got there. We got to the fob about 3 o'clock, and they told us that we were pretty much done till about 7 o'clock the next morning. So we knew we were going to stay the night there. So me, my buddy Gary, who was our medic, my buddy Chassis and Ken and Hud, all entry guys and stuff like that. We put our rucksacks on. We walked all the way to where the Air Force had all these food things and stuff like that. It's like a 2-mile walk. And each of us took our money that we had and we went to every different little food area that the Air Force had. And we all bought like $50 worth of food there. And so for that night, we had no family, organic family. We had nothing else. It was just dark skies, sitting at this little picnic table in the middle of the desert, and we were all just sitting there having our own version of Thanksgiving, kind of in the middle of Iraq. So that's a memory that's
awesome, man.
That stands in there as a good day.
That's awesome. Tell me about a bad day.
A bad day. I think anybody could go here and they could tell the stories about seeing the RPGs go by or IEDs go off and things like that. But I thought about this when you asked me, and I thought about what I really wanted to talk about. And so, I'm 30 years old now. But when I was in Iraq from the ages of 18 to 21. That's when I was there. And so I had it very easy, in my opinion. In my opinion, my deployment was easy because now being a 30-year-old wife, children, things like that, I understand what the NCOs above me and all the older men and women above me had to really deal with during that time. You know, when I was over there, it was just me. I didn't have anything better to do. You know, I wanted to be the next Rambo, you know, all this other kind of stuff, just like any private wants to do. And, but, you know, I witnessed, I'll never forget it, my buddy Gary, he had a real hard time over there because I had to witness my buddy Gary miss the passing of his mother. Couldn't do anything about it. In fact, by the time he found out, you know, his mother was already, you know, dead and gone by this point. And then shortly after, his father passed away as well. And so I just remember sitting there, 20 years old, and I remember thinking to myself, wow, I wonder how does somebody pick themselves up to realize that not only did your mom and your dad just pass away, you weren't there, you couldn't be there, there was nothing you could do about it, you couldn't go to the funeral, you couldn't grieve the way that you're supposed to be able to grieve when things like that happen, sure. Right? So I remember that day as clearly as I could. I watched this man, he was an E6, you know, I was a private, so, you know, I mean, he was my staff sergeant and everything, and you just watch this man that's supposed to, you know, when you're an E3, an E6, buddy, they have it together. I mean, you know, they are the people that show no fear, no pain, no nothing. And you watch this man deal with something so painful and hurtful as that. Those are the things in war situations that I think a lot of people don't think about, right? Everybody sees the news, everybody sees the guns and the bullets and the bombs and the blood and the shrapnels and things like that. But what people don't understand is that normal life still goes on even when men and women are over there fighting. And to me, I think one of the saddest days was watching a man that was supposed to be Superman find out that both his parents had passed away, dead, gone, in the ground by the time he finally found out. And you just gotta pick up and keep going, you know. And that mentality is something that I don't think a lot of Americans get, and they don't understand that that's something that we deal with. I say we, I don't deal with it anymore, but our men and women who still wear the uniforms deal with on a daily basis, is that mental part that people just don't think about. And anyway, I thought that would be a different way to spin your question here.
What inspired the rants when you came back?
Oh goodness, I wish it was a big, elaborate story, but you know, I wish I could say, you know, that I had a near-death experience and I just knew that this is what I was supposed to do or something. But no, it wasn't. An old lady, an old grandma ran me off the road, and so that inspired the first rant. And then, and you
That's
know,
a near-death experience.
Well, yeah, I guess it could be. And so, yeah, shortly after that, you know, they started evolving and things. And I tell everybody that this rant character that everybody sees online, it's a combination of 30 years of growing up, meeting good people along the way, bad people along the way, and kind of taking this and that from those people. And that's kind of this character, right? And so I contribute it to so many people that I served with, you know, because when I first joined the military, I was just this, you may not believe this, I was this shy, wouldn't talk to anyone kind of person. You know,
I believe
yeah,
that.
the thought of speaking in front of people, I would be physically sick and like throwing up and things like that, just nervous. And so, yeah, I owe a lot of the person that you guys know now is from the military and things like that.
But here's what's so wild. I have never, I mean, listen, man, we work with a lot of social media influencers. I have never seen anyone with such a responsive audience like you. Like, people genuinely love you.
I think they're still trying to figure out how it even happened is probably the main thing.
I think in fairness, you're probably still
people are still waiting on like okay, what's the gag here? You know, when are the wheels going to fall off, kind of thing.
Well,
so.
I mean, it's crazy. You truly do speak for your average American. You say everything that people think on a regular basis and are sometimes afraid to say or are shamed into silence over. And yet, I mean, look at some of your videos, man. You had, what, your NFL one had how many millions of views on it in a couple of days?
About almost 20, yeah. I think that, I tell everybody it's not so much me. I don't believe it's me. I think that, you know, it's kind of a right time, right place kind of thing. You know, so I think that our country is in this state right now that everybody's so tense and everybody's so this and so that people, whether being in a job, you know, where they can't say something, or a relationship, you know, there's husbands and wives, brothers and sisters, sons and daughters, and dads and moms, and all this stuff that are divided on either political views, sexual orientation views, religious views, whatever it is. And there's so many people that just feel like they can't really say what they want to say. And I think that's the reason that this idea of just a guy in his truck saying what we all want to say is been received the way that it's been. You know, it's not this highly produced, it's not this newsroom, it's not this, it's not that. It's just this guy that's just saying it for you kind of thing. And I think that's the reason that so many people have jumped into this idea.
Last question. You're not just a patriotic American. You're not just a veteran. You're a husband and a dad. Mm-hmm. Now that you are a husband and a dad, what does America mean to you?
Ooh, America to me, as a dad, not so much as a husband, but as a dad. You know, my wife, I love her to death, but she's an adult. You know, she's grown. You know, she is self-sufficient in her own world, in which she herself has helped create to this point, right? Because we're adults, we have to take accountability for what we have contributed to the current situations. My children, on the other hand, it makes America a responsibility to me. And what I mean by that is the idea that is America, that our children have the potential to be better than we were, to have better than we ever had, to succeed more than we ever succeeded, only happens because we as adults continue to you know, make the way for that to happen. If we don't hold up our end of the deal as adults and then train the generation behind us to continue to make it better than we have currently, it's never going to be that way. And I think people have forgotten that. I think people think, oh, this is America, we can just be happy and do whatever we want to do. That's a great idea, and that is the idea of America, but people forget that the only way, it's kind of like you have electricity at your house. That's great, you have electricity at your house, but how many people had to run the lines, build the house, run it through the house, and all this other kind of stuff to make your house have electricity? It just doesn't appear. Those are things that I think, and I know that's a very small example for what I'm the bigger picture, but it all goes into the means that America doesn't just happen. We make it happen because we are America. Everybody looks at America as this place that we all live. That's not true. This is just land, water, crops, trees. That's all this is. Buildings, mortar, cement. I mean, that's all it is. We are America. And I think that's the biggest thing that people forget.
Brother, pleasure. Guys,
it.
it's going to take you 2 seconds to share his video, share his story, and help really have these conversations about the men and women behind the uniforms who want to go home to their families every single day. So, brother, thanks for being on. Guys, God bless America.